Be quiet. The great poet Homer is about to give us his latest epic tale.
Solicitations, everyone, and welcome back again. I sing to all of you once more of the complicated man, Odysseus, who, as you may recall, set out from Ithaca to rescue Queen Helena of Sparta, and who, on his great quest, encountered trials, tribulations, and many great battles. Tonight, we rejoin Odysseus and his men as they come upon Thrinacia, the island of the sun. Upon it lay the livestock belonging to Helios, the mighty sun god. These fine cattle, spread across the land, were kept plump and lively by Helios's daughters, Phaethusa and Lampatia. Now it is important to remember, Odysseus was warned twice, once by Tiresias, the blind prophet, and once by the nymph Circe, to avoid the island of Thrinacia. Both told Odysseus that if the cattle were harmed, he would return home to Ithaca alone.
Refreshments! Juicy, meaty refreshments here. We sell meat. Can't hear Homer's latest tale on an empty stomach. We got skewers, slabs, slices, everything your tummy could possibly want.
But try as he might to avoid Thrinacia, Odysseus's men were weary from travel and very hungry. They begged Odysseus for a stay on the island. Odysseus gave in, warning his men to eat only the food provided to them and abstain from using the cattle on the island to nourish themselves. For a time, the men listened, but soon they tired of the provisions offered them and the fish caught off the island's shore. One of his men in particular, Eurylochus, grew restless and began to conspire with the other men, hatching a plan to slaughter and feast upon the cattle.
Second round, hey, refreshments. Don't need any intermission to get your fix all over again. Kosher and non-kosher options. Come get it while it's still somewhat warm.
Sale of comestibles shall cease until I am finished. One night, as Odysseus rested upon the ship, some of the men, led by Eurylochus, found the temptation too great. With great gulps of wine to fuel their courage, they went ashore and struck down several of the cattle. Slicing the meat into skewerable cubes, with great hunks of carcasses put on spits and roasted over a great fire, the men readied to feast. Odysseus awoke from his slumber to the smell of roast meats and sacrilege. He rushed to the site of the slaughter. At that very same time, Helios's daughter Lampatia ran to inform Helios of the great gory atrocity. Helios, his anger set ablaze by the destruction of his cattle, rallied Zeus to rain justice down upon Odysseus and his men. The gods sent signs of their ire. With their mighty power, they manipulated the slaughtered bovines. Flanks and fillets twitched as the meat turned on the skewer. Meat, raw and otherwise, began to moo as if slaughtered it never were. The night air was filled with the lowing of the cattle undead. Yet the crew, hungry as they were, continued to feast. Thinking perhaps they had seen the worst of it, they returned quickly to the ship and set sail, but the gods struck with ferocity. Zeus created storms that pummeled the ship. The sea swelled, washing all of Odysseus's men to a watery death. Only Odysseus remained. Left with the remains of his ship and all his mighty crew gone, will Odysseus be able to make his way back to Ithaca? We shall find out when we meet next. Until then, farewell, audience.
After show refreshments, cold but not spoiled. End your experience with a little bit of
Discard that, young one. We must return home and cleanse our palates with tzatziki and dolmas.
What was that? Do the gods speak to me? Zeus, I'm sorry. How repulsive we've all been. Before the tides rise, we must do something. Young Veganopolis, you were right. I shall follow you.